That's the Southern Ocean out there. Keep going south and the next stop is Antarctica. The coastline on this part of the ocean is dotted with small seaside towns, with Port Elliot being one of the oldest of these little towns. Although it was originally established as a port for moving cargo, it's now mainly known as a beach holiday location. Its main beach is called Horseshoe Bay, as the bay makes a horseshoe shape. It has a wide sandy shoreline, calm water and a conveniently located caravan park, so perfect for those great Aussie summer holiday experiences. In the distance, the surf beaches at Middleton can just be seen. Not all the beaches are safe, but that doesn't stop people from going in for a dip. There's a coastal path that goes along from Port Elliot to the much larger town of Victor Harbor. The path that goes around the next bay, which is called Encounter Bay, as in April 1802 the British captain Matthew Flinders, coming from the west, encountered the French captain Nicolas Baudin coming from the east. They were mapping the coastline for their respective countries of what was then the large unknown landmass in the southern hemisphere. Port Elliot was initially established as a seaport for the trade that came down the River Murray from inland Australia. Paddle steamers would bring the cargo down the river, but the mouth of the River Murray was too treacherous to pass through, so cargo had to be unloaded at the river town of Goolwa, then loaded onto a train that rode along the first public track in Australia to Port Elliot. It was then transferred onto ocean-going ships, sailing mainly back to Britain. The harbour master lived near the wharf area. He was responsible for the movement of the ships in and out of the port. The path down to the wharf or the jetty has been restored, and it also links in with the coastal path. The jetty, in a much shortened form, is still there, and it's used mainly by fishermen and swimmers for jumping into the water. After a number of disastrous shipping losses, the railway was extended to the safer waters of Victor Harbor, and Port Elliot went into a slow decline. That is, until the beginning of the 20th century, when people would travel down from Adelaide to escape the summer heat, and guest houses were built to accommodate the visitors. Port Elliot has retained its sleepy charm. The main street is called the Strand, not really resembling the London one. Obviously its founders had high hopes for it. It has what I think must be the world's smallest council chamber. The town has no fast food franchises and no high-rise buildings. Holiday accommodation is mainly in caravan parks or in the holiday homes. There are two pubs. I love the traditional Australian country pub with its balconies and verandas. There are cafes, and the town's main claim to fame, its bakery, which dates back to the 1860s. Come lunchtimes, there are lines going down the street outside the bakery. I popped in for some afternoon tea and went for a traditional South Australian delight called a Kitchener bun. It was created during World War I. In a fit of patriotic fever, a baker cut a Berliner bun diagonally, piped in a lot of cream and named it after Lord Kitchener, the British War Secretary, who was in charge of the British war effort. Port Elliot is a pleasant hour's drive from Adelaide, so an easy location in our big wide world to discover.